He's cursing up and down and he's yelling at some guy, Hector. I was working at a dealership. I was actually a service manager at a dealership, and we were starting to have issues with some of the interior panels of the seats, especially on the trucks. So this one particular Yukon Denali comes in, and the issue that you used to have is you'd have people that would slide their way out of it so the outer edge of the seat would wear out. Part of your responsibility as a service manager, you have to manage expenses for warranty expense. The seat covers back then, they were astronomical. They were like $800 for the seat cover, but we actually found an interior repair shop locally that would actually section in a piece of leather and match it perfectly. And that would cost us about $100, $125. So I'd be able to get the customer's car fixed to his liking, make it look brand new, and save that much money on our total expense. And one day this gentleman came in to get his seat repaired, and he dropped it off. And the owner of the company that used to do the interior work for us, he would stop in, he'd pick the cars up, bring them back to his shop, do the repairs, and drop them back off to us. So the following day, he brings the car back in. I inspect it with him. The car looks absolutely beautiful. It looks perfect. So I'm excited. The customer's coming in. Kind of a tough cookie, the customer. So the owner of this interior shop, his name was Tommy. He was kind of a wise guy from Brooklyn. You know, he had real street mentality, but did phenomenal work, phenomenal businessman. He just had that little bit of a street edge to him. And he drops the car off, and he tells me it's all set. So the customer comes down. We set it up that the customer's coming down to pick it up. And as he goes out to his vehicle, he looks out of it, he's very excited about it. I said, all right, great. Shook hands, handed him his receipt, and he drove off. About 5 minutes later, this guy comes storming back into my office and kicks the door open. We all turn around and look, and I said, hey, everything okay? He goes, no, not everything's okay. I want you to come out to my truck and take a look at this. So the Yukon Denalis back then used to have this little square box at the bottom of the dashboard, and it was called a trip computer. And it had all your latest trip information. Showed you your instant fuel economy, showed your average mileage, and it also showed your average speed. Well, he got down the block and he decided to fiddle around with this trip computer, and he saw that the last time that the car was driven, it was driven at about 100 miles an hour. So this guy was flipping out. He's yelling and screaming. He wants to speak to the owner of the dealership. The owner of the dealership wasn't there that day, so I'm just trying to calm this guy down myself. I'm all by myself, nobody to back me up, no owners, no GMs. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, so I figured I got to put on a quick show here. So I pick up the phone and I call up Tommy. And Tommy was actually still on his way back to the shop. He was in his car, and I call him up. I'm like, yo, Tommy, we got to do something about this. I said, what? I got this customer here that Denali you guys just fixed. I said, I got this guy here yelling and screaming. Somebody drove his car at 100 miles an hour. And Tommy, again, a little bit of a street edge, quick thinker, he starts screaming into the phone. And he's cursing up and down, and he's yelling at some guy, Hector. And he's like, how dare you drive one of my customers' cars like that? You're an absolute maniac. You shouldn't have done that. I can't believe you did that. This is my business. This is my reputation on the line. I can't take it. Pack your shit and get out of here. And I'm sitting on a phone, and he was yelling loud enough that the owner of the vehicle is standing right in front of me. And all of a sudden, the owner's demeanor on his face just changed. And I said, all right, Tommy. He goes, I got to go. Let me finish this up. And he hangs up on me. And the owner of the car looks at me and goes, can you call him back and tell him it's really not that big of a deal? I can't believe. So I said, I'll call him, but he's in the middle of a bunch of things. And the guy walked out like drooping like this, like he killed somebody. A couple minutes goes by, I call Tommy up, and I'm like, Tommy, I said, yo, dude, what happened? And he goes, oh, nothing. I was still in the car driving back. He goes, but I figured that would satisfy your customer. I don't know what the customer is really looking for. You know, sometimes when customers come in, you have to try to make a quick judgment on exactly what's going to satisfy that customer, considering what happened. Somebody driving your personal car at 98 miles an hour, it's going to be hard. You know, I don't think a free oil change is going to satisfy them, a free tire rotation or some gas or something like that. When I called Tommy, I was doing it to try to diffuse the situation a little bit, to let him know that I feel for you. I mean, this wasn't just done to you, my customer, but this was done to me as the person who's responsible for your vehicle while it's here for repairs. So I wanted to try to diffuse it. I called Tommy up, and Tommy never really explained why he did it. And Tommy's one of those guys who doesn't explain why he does things. So I think he felt the way to diffuse it was he looked at it, if somebody drove my car 99 miles an hour, 98 miles an hour, what would I want? I'd want that guy fired. And that's what he portrayed on the phone, and he did it so perfectly with the yelling and the shouting and the adding in of some curse words. It was scary at the moment for me because now I'm like holding the phone away from my ear and the owner's listening to it, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this guy just got fired. And you know, the look on the owner of the car's face, the customer, that's not what he wanted. I still to this day don't know what he wanted, but the customer was truly upset that he just got this guy fired. And you could tell by his whole physical demeanor, the way his shoulders just drooped over, and he looked at me, and you know, he didn't really have much to say. And as he turned and walked out, I don't know if that customer was truly satisfied, but I know that at least the customer walked out feeling bad for some make-believe person and not mad at me or Tommy. So with all the training I've done through the years, both as an automotive technician and with General Motors through handling customers and handling warranty claims, there's nothing I ever read or nothing was ever taught to me on how to handle a situation like this. And I'm sure Tommy never had any training either, but I think it was that street edge of Tommy that really got the point across and really taught all of us a lesson. Don't drive the car too fast, and don't look to get people fired when somebody mistreats your vehicle.
We'd like to thank Avalon King for their continued support of the VINwiki YouTube channel. Obviously, I've installed it onto my Porsche 993, which one of our app users is going to win once we hit 1 million subscribers. I've got it on the LP640, and it's performed flawlessly in both cases. The cars are much easier to clean, the finish looks a lot better, and I've really been impressed with it. So we're going to do some more experimentation with the ceramic coating this month, but please do check out the link in the description below, enter the code VINwiki for a discount, and thank them for supporting your favorite YouTube channel.